Hello everyone, my name is KelSounds, and today I want to show you guys this project file. And before I start the video, just want to let you guys know that this project is going to be available for my Sound Squad subscribers and available for purchase as well. I'll have it up on my website. The project is going to come with the project file and everything inside. It's also going to come with a sample pack, which has a total of 20 samples. Basically, the basses that you heard are included in that sample pack, and they're also in the project file. And then I'm also going to include the faceplant preset that I use to make the sample pack. So yeah, it's all going to be one thing. So it's going to be the project file, the sample pack, and then the faceplant preset that I use to make the sample pack. So yeah, let's dive right in. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I just want to show you guys real quick what I did here. And so the first thing that I started out with was the bass. Yeah, I first started with these basses. They sounded good alone, but I felt like I needed to add some sort of layer. I went ahead and scanned through my other sample packs and kind of just layered some background noises. So I have this group here called background, and this is what it sounds like. And so this background effects layered with the bass. Sounds really nice, so I just went ahead and added some stuff to kind of fill in the emptiness of the sound. And one of the things that I added, or actually before I show you the samples and the preset that I use for the background noises, I kind of want to show you what I did for the bass. So the EQ8, I boosted a bit of the highs there. I also automated a shelf filter. I just felt like that second part of the bass had a little bit more grit compared to the first part. So that's why I went ahead and automated the gain. I also went ahead and boosted the highs a little bit as well. But as you can see, for the first bass, I boosted it by 6 decibels, and then it goes back to 4 decibels for the second bass. This was going to be a parallel processing reverb, but I decided not to include that, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that as well. And then I have this reverb here that's automating certain parts of the drop. So for this bass, kind of creates this big room space feeling, and it kind of just adds to the drop. So combined with the drums, just builds like a little bit of suspense before this filler. And I also have this reverse effect before it goes back into the bass. And then the last thing that I did was added a utility and just kind of lowered the volume down a little bit. Alright, so for the background effects, I have this faceplant, which is 2 detune analog generators, sawtooth waves, and the voices are set to 8. The detune is turned up all the way, and I went ahead and added 2 distortions to kind of bring it out even more in the background. Then I just lowered down the volume by a whole lot after everything. So it has this parallel processing going on with reverb. Kind of mess with the settings a little bit of the size and the decay, and then I turn the diffuse up as well. I added a OTT, and then I also have this gain here, which is automating volume. So it's silent before the filler parts. It would just be easier to probably bounce this to audio, but for some reason I did it this way. And then of course the last thing I have is a utility, and I went ahead and turned that down by quite a bit. And then I went ahead and added another layer for the background effects. This is from a previous sample pack as well. I forgot the name of the sample pack, but yeah, I went ahead and put an EQ on it, lowered it down by 20 decibels, and that is that layer for the background. And so combined with the first background effects, this one I don't have to put I don't have to automate a utility just because it's audio. And then the last thing that I added for the background effects was this laser effect. And so all this is a analog generator doing like a pitch down effect with the harmonic. I added a shaper table to add some distortion, a snap heap doing parallel processing with a dual delay, and then a convolver with some reverb on it, or I'm sorry, not reverb, with a disperse effect on it. And then I went ahead and added a frequency shifter. Then I just went ahead and threw a EQ on it and just put a high pass and a low pass on it. Utility is cutting out some volume when the filler parts hit. Like I said, it's just preference. It would be easier to just bounce it to audio, but I don't know. For some reason, I did it this way. Then I also went ahead and turned down the sound by -2 decibels over here. Probably just put this right over here. But yeah, all together, the background effects sound like this. I also want to show you guys the drums really quickly. So for the kick, I wanted to use faceplant to create a kick from scratch. So I used an analog generator with a sine wave. I just distorted it a whole bunch and then added a clipper to give it some crunch. And then I added a noise with a high pass filter for the transient. And so it sounds like this. And then with the track, I also went ahead and bounced this to audio to do a reverse kick. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the kick. Then I have just a bunch of random percussion noises from previous sample packs that I dragged and dropped in the project. And then for the snare, let me go ahead and show you guys that really quickly. I went ahead and layered this with this kind of resonant sound. And so this is the snare, and then layered with the this like resonant snare hit thing. It sounds like that. This was going to be another layer, but I decided not to add it. So there's really nothing in here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this track. Kind of interesting thing here I want to show you guys with the side chaining. So for the snare, I went ahead and put a EQ8 and a utility. I grouped both of these, and every time the snare hits, I went ahead and ducked the volume of the basses whenever the snare hit. So this is where the snare is hitting. So I ducked the volume with the utility, and I also went ahead and grabbed an EQ8 and cut the frequencies of the bass noise where the snare is going to hit, just to give it some more room. So as you can see, the EQ8 is ducking around 124 hertz, and that's kind of where the snare lives on the spectrum. And so it sounds like this, and without the side chaining, it sounds like this. So yeah, it just kind of adds more room inside of the mix. Sometimes that's what I like to do when making room for certain instruments in a mix. And then another interesting thing is the FX. So this is pretty much just drag and drop from previous sample packs that I made inside of these tracks. So here's what they sound like, or here's what the FX group sounds like. I thought that would sound really nice layered with the bass once it hits in the beginning part of the song. Here's some other effects for the fillers. Then combined with the drums, it sounds like this. Some more effects to fill in the spaces. Then I also have this little like metal sound going on, and this is for the second part of the drop. And so for these, it's the same sample, and then when the drop hits, I just shifted it up with a frequency shifter inside of Snap Heap. I also went ahead and made it a little bit more resonant with this slice EQ. So without the slice EQ, it sounds like this. And then with it, I just thought it sounded really nice with that resonance added to the drop. And so yeah, that's pretty much the meat and bones of the track. Like I said before, this is going to be available for my Sound Squad subscribers, or if you want to, it's going to be available for purchase. So if you want to go ahead and check out the project, you can. Thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys what I was working on since I didn't post a video yesterday. I just kind of really wanted to finish this drop. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.